Hey guys, myself Chaitanya Trumbaki, and today what we are going to do is to learn the chapter number 3, humidity and clouds. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started.
Evaporation. Evaporation is the process of converting water into steam or water vapor. Because of the sun's heat, the water on the earth gets converted into water vapor. The process of evaporation is depend on the dryness, temperature and the speed of the wind. If the air is dry and hot, the rate of evaporation increases. The process of evaporation continues even in the dry and cold air. On the other hand, evaporation occurs very slowly in moist air. If the velocity and temperature of the air is high, then evaporation occurs rapidly. If the wind is blowing slowly and the air is cooler, then evaporation occurs slowly. Humidity in the air. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity. The dryness or dampness of the air depends on the proportion of water vapor. Air can hold moisture in specific quantity at specific temperature only. As air cools down, its moisture holding capacity reduces. This implies that warmer air can hold more moisture than cold air.
At a certain temperature, the moisture holding capacity of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it. This condition of the air is called saturation of the air. The moisture holding capacity of the air depends on its temperature. Higher the temperature, higher is the holding capacity. We have learned earlier that as we go higher in the sky, the air becomes cooler. So, as per this rule, as we go higher, the vapor holding capacity of the air will decrease. Absolute humidity. The amount of water vapor in 1 cubic meter of air is the absolute humidity of the air. For example, the absolute humidity of the air near the coastal areas is higher than air in the interior. Absolute humidity is higher in the equatorial areas while it reduces as we move towards the poles. The distribution of land and water on earth and the seasons also affect absolute humidity. Relative humidity. The amount of water vapor present in air can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature and same volume. It is expressed in percentage. Relative humidity, that is RH, percentage is equal to absolute humidity upon vapor holding capacity into 100. Condensation, densification, sublimation. The process of changing of water vapor in the air into water is called condensation or densification. Also, the process of vapor, gas, changing into solid state is called sublimation. If the temperature of the air reduces, its vapor holding capacity also reduces. When relative humidity of the air becomes 100%, vapor starts condensation. At this time, the temperature of the air should be at the dew point. It implies that for condensation, temperature should be low and relative humidity must be high. In the free environment, condensation of the vapor in the air occurs around the fine particles, as example, dust, salt, etc. in the air. Dew, frost and fog are the forms of condensation at ground level, while clouds are the formation of condensation at higher elevation. Clouds and types of clouds. Clouds are the form of condensation at higher elevation. Condensation occurs around minute particles in the atmosphere. Condensed water or snow particles in the clouds are very fine and almost weightless, and so clouds float in the air. Land and water get heated because of the heat of the sun. Air near the surface heats up rises and become less dense. Hot air rises up. As it goes higher, the temperature of the air reduces and the moisture holding capacity of the air reduces. Relative humidity keeps increasing. The water vapor in the atmosphere turns into water and snow. This is the dew point level of the air. The level of condensation is determined by the water vapor in the air. Keep in mind that the freezing point is also dependent on the altitude and water vapor. Because of condensation, fine particles of ice and water float in the air at a great height. They accumulate around dust particles in the air and become larger in size. Their accumulation together is called a cloud. Because of vertical flow of the wind, they float in the atmosphere like a kite which floats in the air as it moves higher and higher. The clouds too float in the atmosphere because of vertical flow.
Clouds are found at different altitudes above the mean sea level. Clouds which form at greater altitudes are formed from very fine snow particles. The process of evaporation and condensation occur consecutively in the clouds. Specific type of clouds cause rainfall on Earth. The proportion of vapor is more near the Earth's surface. As we go higher away from the sea level, the amount of vapor decreases. Hence, the clouds at a low altitude are larger in size, while the clouds at higher altitude are smaller. Clouds are formed at different altitudes in the atmosphere. After observation, we can divide these clouds into three main types on the basis of their altitude. The height from the base of the clouds is taken into consideration. If the clouds are at an altitude of 7,000 to 14,000 meter, then they are considered as very high clouds. If they are at an altitude of around 2,000 to 7,000 meter, then they are considered to be medium clouds. If they are at an altitude of less than 2000 meter, then they are low clouds. High clouds. These clouds are mainly made up of ice particles. They can be classified into cirrus, cirrocumulus, and cirrostratus. Cirrus clouds are mainly wispy. Cirrocumulus clouds look like group of small waves. Cirrostratus are like a bedsheet with wrinkles. They generally have a hollow around them. Medium clouds. These include altocumulus and altostratus. Altocumulus are in the form of layers and have a wave-like structure. They are mostly white in color and have a grey shade. Altostratus are not very thick. The sun can be seen through them as if seen through a milky glass. Low clouds. These consist of 5 types of clouds. Stratocumulus have layers. Their color is white to earthy. Round clusters of clouds can be here. Stratus clouds also have layers. They are ash colored and their base is uniform. Nimbostratus has thick layers. They are grey ash in color and cause continuous rainfall and even snowfall. Cumulus clouds. These clouds are formed extensively from 500 meter to 6000 meter altitude. The vertical flow of the air adds to the formation of these clouds. These are huge and dome-shaped. They are grey in color. Cumulus clouds are an indicator of pleasant weather. The vertical expanse of these clouds increases so much that they turn into cumulonimbus clouds and bring rain. Cumulonimbus clouds are characteristic clouds which are indicators of thunderstorm. These look like huge mountains. These are dense and dark in color. There is thunder accompanied by lightning. They bring rain with storm and may sometimes bring hailstones. But such a type of rain does not long last. The largest of these clouds bring rainfall accompanied with lightning. The top portion of these clouds has an anvil like shape. The clouds have a positive charge at the upper end and negative charge at the lower end. The land below them always have negative charge. Due to difference in the charges, electric charges are formed and lightning occurs, lightning up the sky for a moment. The air around the lightning rises up because of the heat, and this leads to a large thundering sound. As compared to other clouds, the raindrops of these clouds are larger because they move up and down a lot of times and accumulate more and more water. Drops become larger and larger and are unable to float in the clouds because of their weight. They fall in the form of rain. Sometimes the air in the clouds is very cold. As a result, these drops freeze and fall in the form of hail. We call them hailstones.